this pendulum arrangement here. So like two pendulums, two identical pendulums again, they are suspended from the same point and they are carrying the identical charge Q and a mass M, and at the given instant the separation between them is x, the separation between those two charges at the given instant. Now the given situation is the two bobs are approaching each other, slowly they are approaching with each other with a velocity of v is equal to some a by root x. The two bobs are approaching each other with a velocity of a by root x, where a is some constant. So a is some positive constant and x is the separation between those two charges at the given instant. So now if they are approaching with each other, we need to find this rate of leakage of the charge. So if the charge on this box will remain constant, then the box will be in equilibrium at a particular angle or particular position, which we calculated in the previous classes, like tan theta is equal to f by mg. So in that position, the system will be remains in equilibrium, or the box will remains at rest in that position. So when the charge is slowly leaking from that box, and so now that when the charge on this box is decreasing, automatically this force will decrease. When that force is decreasing, so then automatically the bob will come to this side. This t sin theta component will be greater, and so then the bob will start moving this side. And so now we are assuming that they are moving slowly, and so that we need to cancel this rate of leakage of the charge from each bob we need to calculate. So that is our question here. We need to find this rate of leakage of the charge dq by dt. And so for that, so again let us write the expression here. I am writing this tan theta is equal to, and here the given condition is like the given conditions of x value will be very much less than that of here. X is the separation between these two charges. This x value will be very much less than that of L. That means when compared to this length of the pendulums, the distance between the two bobs is very small value. And so then tan theta expression, we know this. This is a given condition. Now we are writing the solution here. So we know that tan theta is equal to f by mg, or which is nothing but if theta is small, then we can write this as tan theta is approximately equal to sin theta. Because here this x value is small, as I said, when x value is small, automatically this theta value will become small. So when this theta value becomes small, then tan theta value and sin theta value we can take approximately same. Therefore this tan theta is equal to approximately equal to sin theta, and the sin theta value we can write by using this expression. So that you can write it as x by 2 by L. That means opposite side. This opposite side is nothing but x by 2 by this hypotenuse L. And so which I can write this as x by 2L. And so now tan theta is nothing but this expression. So let us equate that f by mg is equal to x by 2L. And now let us substitute this f expression here. So f is nothing but now 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q square by x square by mg. This is equal to x by 2L. And so now from this I am writing this x cube value. So therefore this x cube is equal to, you can write this expression as L by 2 pi epsilon naught into q square by mg. So that means I am cancelling this 2 here. Then q square by mg you will get x cube value. And now from this let us differentiate this equation here. Let's suppose I am taking this x cube expression as equation 1. Now our need is we need to find this expression here. dq by dt value we need to find. And so let us differentiate that equation now. So if we differentiate this equation, 3x square into dx by dt, this is equal to, this value will be L by 2 pi epsilon naught into into m1 by mg into now q square differentiation. The q square differentiation is nothing but 2q into dq by dt. And so now we need to substitute, we need to find the dq by dt value here. And before that we can do some substitutions here. This value, this dx by dt is nothing but x is a separation between these two charges here. Now the dx by dt is nothing but rate of change of this x value. The rate of change of this x value is nothing but velocity of approach here. The velocity of approach of those two particles. And so that we can replace this dx by dt with this velocity. Is it clear? This x is the separation between those two charges. Now their dx by dt is nothing but rate of change of the separation between those two charges. The given condition is these two charges are approaching with this velocity. And so this v is nothing but dx by dt only. And so I can write this as 3x square into a by root x. So this is L by 2 pi epsilon naught into mg, and you can cancel the 2 also here. And so then mg pi epsilon naught into mg into q into dq by dt. Now let us write these expressions here, then I can substitute this dq by dt is equal to, so this is 3 pi epsilon naught mg into a, and now this x values we can simplify here. Here x square is there and this value it will become x power 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2. And so finally it is 3 by x power 3 by 2 you can write. By this value will be L into Q. Now x value you can substitute by using this first equation here. Substitute this x value by using the first equation. Then you will get our dq by dt value. So the dq by dt value I will write here. So the dq by dt value you can write that as so this is 3 pi epsilon naught into mga by L into Q. Now this is x cube value we know here. Now here whole power 1 by 2 is there. So for this whole power 1 by 2 we need to write there. And therefore this value I am writing here L by 2 pi epsilon naught into Q square by mg whole power 1 by 2 we can write. That is under square root you can substitute there. And so now I can write this expression as finally here this q is there and here q square whole power 1 by 2 is there. So that q you can cancel there. And I am writing the total expression inside except this 3 by 2a. That means here here I am multiplying and dividing with this 4. I am writing this total expression inside. Let us see this calculation. So here this value I am cancelling here. Then pi epsilon naught we will get in numerator. Here mg is there and here mg1 mg will be cancelled. So that comes into the under root. And here again L is there and here L is there. So by L. And so that is the remaining expression here. And next here, here we are multiplying and dividing this. Here if I divide and multiply with this 2 here, then you will get here 2 and here 4 you will get. Out of that 4 I am writing this 2 here. And so that in here you will get additional 2 here. And so that is the final answer, final expression for this dq by dt here. That means the rate at which the charge is operating here in terms of the given parameters. That A is the given constant and 2 pi epsilon naught we know, and m is the mass of the bulb and L is the length of the strings there. So this expression for rate of decay of the charge in that case. So just we are writing this expression, tan theta expression, and the given condition is this x value is very small. So when x value is very small, we can use this approximation here, tan theta is equal to sin theta. Then we are substituting the sin theta value by using the given diagram. So just we are substituting the f value. Then you will get the x cube expression. And now when you get this x cube expression, then just we are differentiating this equation on both sides. And so that from that equation, you can calculate this dq by dt value. And here you will get the expression in terms of x. And that x value we are substituting by using this equation here. And so that finally you will get this answer here. So finally this is our simplification for this dq by dt. So there are some problems based on this simple pendulum. So Coulomb's law applications based on this simple pendulums here. And next let us see, there will be some problems based on this finding the equilibrium of the charges. And you know, equilibrium means when the net force acting on the system is zero, then the body is said to be in equilibrium. In translational equilibrium here, we are discussing about the translational equilibrium because we are going to discuss about the point charges. And so whenever a system is in equilibrium means net force acting on that must be zero. And you know that sometimes they may ask about the types of this equilibrium also. Types of equilibrium means whether it is stable equilibrium or unstable equilibrium or neutral equilibrium. And so let us consider that. In the mechanics we discussed already. I will give a simple example for that. If you are taking a bowl, smooth bowl, which is placed on the horizontal surface, and inside this a smooth ball is placed here. So now the system is in equilibrium. Because the system is at rest, so you can consider that as an equilibrium. Now if you displace the bob slightly and release it, if you displace the bob slightly to this side and release it, then the bob again will come back to this position here. That means it will oscillate for some time and finally it will come to rest at that positions there. So that means whenever you are displacing away from this equilibrium position, if the bob is coming towards that equilibrium position, then it is said to be in stable equilibrium position. So this will be stable equilibrium position. So stable equilibrium means if you displace the body away from that equilibrium, if again it comes back towards the equilibrium position, then it is said to be stable equilibrium position. In stable equilibrium position, the potential energy of the system will be minimum. And next, whereas in unstable equilibrium, if you consider, in the same example, if I invert the bob like this, and if I place a ball on the top of that bowl like that, now again the system is in equilibrium. Initially the system is at rest, the ball is also at rest initially. Now if you displace the ball slightly from the equilibrium position, is it comes back from the position? So by using this arrangement you can easily say if any slight disturbance is there, the ball will fall from that ball. That means the bob, the point, that means the mass of the object will move away from that position. Then such a position is nothing but we call unstable. Unstable equilibrium. So unstable equilibrium means if you displace the body slightly from the equilibrium position, then the body moves away from that equilibrium position. Then the body is said to be in unstable equilibrium. And so in unstable equilibrium you can also identify that potential energy will be maximum. So here this potential energy is minimum and here this potential energy is maximum. That U means potential energy. So potential energy is maximum and unstable. And another neutral equilibrium is there. Neutral equilibrium means you can identify that easily. If suppose that same ball is placed on the horizontal surface. If it is placed on the horizontal surface, now we can say that that ball is in equilibrium. Now if we displace the ball to this another position here, if the ball is placed here, if it is slightly displaced to the right for example, then is there any tendency for the ball either to move back to the equilibrium position, that means initial position, or to move away from that equilibrium position? There is no any such a tendency for that ball. The ball will remain zero. If you are displacing slightly, it will move and it will remain there only. So that means it has no tendency to come back or to move away from that position. And such equilibrium is nothing but we call neutral equilibrium. And so that we call it as neutral equilibrium. And in neutral equilibrium, this potential energy is considered to be a constant value. So those are the types of this equilibrium here. Now we are going to discuss the problems based on this equilibrium in electrostatics or the applications of this Coulomb's law. And let us see one such a problem. These are problems based on equilibrium. Here I am taking like two charges, identical charges are there. So directly I am taking a problem here. Two identical charges are there separated by a distance d. Now we need to place one charge here in between them. A third charge is to be placed such that the entire system is in equilibrium. So you should remember that we are placing a third charge Q such that in between those two charges such that entire system is in equilibrium. Entire system is in equilibrium means if you calculate force on either this Q or either on this charge or on this third charge, the net force should be equal to 0 on any individual particle. If you consider the entire system, suppose let us say A, B, and this third charge should be placed as C. Now that you may calculate force on A or force on B or force on C. On any charge, the net force should be 0. Then the system is said to be equilibrium. The entire system is said to be in equilibrium. So we need to choose such a charge here. We need to find the charge which is to be placed here such that entire system is to be equilibrium. So we need to find this small q value. So first let us identify whether the charge is to be positive or negative charge. And so that means the third charge to be placed at that midpoint. That means that the point C is to be positive or negative, let us take. And suppose if I am taking, if it is positive charge, if Q is positive, let us check whether equilibrium is possible or not. So I am taking this as for example positive. If that charge is positive, then the force acting on this A due to this C, that will be repulsive force along this direction. So this is the force acting on A due to C, and force acting on this A due to this B. So these two charges are also positive charges, and so that is also a repulsive force like this, force acting on A due to B. And so now both the forces are in same direction. When both the forces are in same direction, definitely you can say that net force is not equal to 0. And so that force acting on A is not 0. When force acting on A is not 0, you can conclude that system is not in equilibrium. And so this positive charge is not possible for us. So charge should not be positive. Similarly, let us check if charge is negative. If Q is negative. So let us identify the force directions there. So that force between A and B, the force between A and B is still repulsive, and so that you can say this force on this AB will be along force acting on A due to B will be along this direction. Now we are taking this as a negative charge. So if it is a negative charge, then force between these two charges must be along this direction, because attractive force will be there. Force acting on A due to C. And now you can observe that these two forces are opposite in direction. Force due to this C and force due to this B on A, they are in opposite in direction. When they are in opposite direction, there may be a chance of equal in magnitude for a suitable value of this Q. And so that the net force acting on this A will be 0. And similarly on the B also it will become 0. You can check the directions. On C also it will be 0. Net force acting on that will be 0. And so that the charge Q must be a negative charge. So that is our conclusion here about this sign of the charge. And next we need to find the magnitude of the charge. To find the magnitude of the charge, we need to identify first the location, where we should find the position, where we should place the charge. That means first I am finding the position of the charge. So position of Q. So you are finding the position of this Q. So for that what I am taking is I am taking the equilibrium of the C. So consider the equilibrium of charge C, that means charge Q. So if we consider the equilibrium of charge Q, this is our A, capital Q, and this is the B, capital Q, and now we are placing this charge here, and I am taking this distance is x from this. And this distance will be d minus x, you can write, because the distance between A and B will be d. And now we are taking that the charge Q is in equilibrium. So the charge Q is in equilibrium means charge due to this A and a charge due to B. Force due to A and force due to B must be opposite in directions, and they must be equal in magnitude. So force acting on C due to A, that will be an attractive force along this direction. Force acting on C due to A. And similarly this force acting on C due to B, that should be along this direction, that is also opposite. And so as the particle C charge q is small q is in equilibrium, I can write FCA must be equal to FCB. They are equal in magnitude. So when they are equal in magnitude, we can write the expressions for that. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q into small q by x square. Here we are equating the magnitude only. When you are equating the magnitude, you know that no need of substituting this negative sign. Only we substitute the magnitude of the charge. And this value must be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q into q by d minus x whole square. And just let us simplify this equation, then you can get the expression for this. So x is equal to d minus, that means x square is equal to d minus x whole square we can consider. And from this the possible value we can write it as x is equal to, so then it is d by 2 you can write here. So that is the distance, that means the third charge will be placed at the midpoint of these two. In this given situation, when these two charges are same, this is not for all cases here. For every case you need to check the, you need to find the distance like this. So when these two charges are identical, then the third charge must be placed at the midpoint so that the entire system is in equilibrium. Now next we need to find how much charge we need to place. That means we need to find the magnitude of that q. We already concluded about the sign, whether it is positive or negative. Next we already calculated the location where we should place the third charge. Now the next step is we need to find how much charge we should place at this point. So to find the magnitude of q. And so for that let us consider the equilibrium of either A or B. Consider equilibrium of A. I am taking A, or either A or B you can consider. So that means now here I am taking again the charge distribution. This is A and this is C and this is the B. This is capital Q, small q, and it is actually negative, and this is Q. And this distance now we calculated, this is d by 2 and this whole distance is d. And so now let us write the equilibrium of A. Equilibrium of A means force on A due to B will be along this direction. This is force on A due to B, and force on A due to C will be along this direction. And therefore in equilibrium we can equate that. So force acting on A due to B must be equal to force acting on A due to C. So let us write those expressions. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught between AB. So that is q square by d square. So this is equal to between AC we need to write. So again you can observe this is the magnitude of the force. So capital Q into small q by this is d by 2 whole square. And you can simplify that. Therefore you will get this small q value, so you can do the simplification here, then small q is equal to capital Q by 4. This is the only magnitude of the charge. Therefore charge to be placed. Charge to be placed at C is minus q by 4 we need to write. Why we are writing minus sign? Because we are already concluded in the beginning that charge must be a negative charge. So here what we are calculating is only the magnitude of the charge. This q by 4 is. So finally we should answer that charge to be placed as minus q by 4. And that means while writing this, while answering this question, you should remember this point here. Because in the generally if such a question is there in the first option itself, they will give it as q by 4. That means after doing the calculation up to this, you will directly answer that q by 4. But you should keep in mind that charge must be a negative charge. So you should answer that minus q by 4. That's the important point you should remember. So such a lot of configurations will be there. And we need to follow the similar procedure. Like suppose you solve yourself this problem. I am taking these charges as q and 4q. That means a similar question. This is A, C, and this is B. The separation is D. That means we need to find this Q value here. How much charge should be placed at point C so that entire system is in equilibrium. Total calculation is same except this charge simply I am taking it as Q by 4. And so such a lot of questions will be there basing on this. That means they may give any configuration of charges, our procedure will be same. That means they may give that more than 2 charges also. So more than 2 charges means, for example, I am taking a spare configuration. For example, let us say this. Here this 4 identical charges are placed at the corners of a square of side D. So now our question is how much charge should be placed at the center of the square such that entire system is in equilibrium. So the similar procedure. Now here position is given for us. Position is given means only one step, half of the problem is already given, that means no need of calculation. So only we need to find the Q value, that means the last step we need to write. And so then this is the situation, we need to find that value of this Q such that the entire system is in equilibrium. I will simply explain the procedure, you can solve yourself. Because in the previous classes we already calculated the force acting on any one of the charge when it is placed at this corners of a square. For example, I will write the expressions here, see this. And we need to take the equilibrium of any one of the charge. When you are finding the Q value, you should remember, when you are finding the position of the Q value, small q value, we need to take the equilibrium of the small q value. But when you are finding the magnitude of the small q value, we should take the equilibrium of any other charge. Suppose I am taking the equilibrium of this charge, let it be square ABCD and this is a point O. Now I am taking the equilibrium of this A. When you are taking the equilibrium of A, let us find the force acting on that. So then one force will be force between this A and B will be along this direction, let it be F1, and force between these two charges D and A will be again repulsive along this direction, F2, and force between these two charges, that will be F3. And now force between these two charges, we already concluded this Q value must be a negative. So Q should be a negative value. That we can already conclude here by using our similar similar to that of previous problem. And so just we need to calculate the magnitude now. And so when it is negative, the force between these two must be along this direction, Q4. Now the resultant of this F1, F2, F3 we need to find. That will be the force due to the given distribution. Now this small q is the additional charge we are placing at the center of the square such that the total entire system is in equilibrium. So that first let us find the equilibrium of this problem. This part we already solved in the previous classes. When the 4 charges are placed at the corners, we need to find the resultant force on that. So first I am doing the calculation for resultant of this configuration. That means I am finding the resultant of F1 and F2. Let us find here first. I will write the expressions here, F1, F2, F3 and F4 expressions I will write here. So F1 is equal to F2. These two are numerically same. So which is I am taking in terms of K, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. This K is nothing but Q square by D square. And next F3. F3 is the force between A and C. So that F3 value you can write this as K into Q square by this distance. The diagonal you need to write. So which is root 2D whole square. And this value I can express it as F1 by 2 because KQ square by D square is nothing but our F1. And next F4 value we can write here. So therefore this F4 value we can write it as K capital Q into small q by D by root 2 whole square. And so which you can express it as 2K capital Q into small q by D square. These are the magnitudes of those forces. And now let us find the resultant. Resultant of F1 and F2. You can observe this F1 and F2 are perpendicular to each other. When they are perpendicular to each other, let it be F dash. The resultant of those forces, I can write directly it as root 2 F1 by using our parallelogram law. And then the resultant of this F dash will be along this direction because these two are equal in magnitude, and you know the resultant of those two will bisect the angle between them, and so that force will be along this direction, and so I can write this as F dash will be in the direction of F3. Now the resultant of F dash and F3. So listen this once again. We are first finding the resultant of F1 and F2. They are perpendicular to each other. Just we are applying the parallelogram law of vector addition, so we will get root 2 F1. That F dash, that is the resultant of these two. That means we are replacing these two with this F dash. That F dash will be in the direction of F3. And so that when you are finding the resultant of these two forces, we can directly add them. So I am taking it as F double dash. So that force must be equal to F dash plus F3. So F dash is nothing but root 2F, F1, and F3 value we can express it as F1 by 2. And therefore it is F1 into F1 of root 2 plus 1 by 2. So in the previous classes actually we already calculated this. If you remember that, no need of this much calculation, you can directly write that expression. Now this force must be equal to, now we are replacing these two forces with this F double dash. That force must be equal to this F4, and so that the entire system will be in equilibrium. And so I can write that as now finally we can write this as F double dash must be equal to F4. F double dash is nothing but F1 into root 2 plus 1 by 2. This value is equal to F4 means we already mentioned the value there, 2k q into q by d square. Now let us substitute this F1 value by using this equation. So F1 value by using that equation is nothing but kq square by d square into root 2 plus 1 by 2 is equal to 2kq into q by d square. Now do the simplification. This d square will be cancelled and k will be cancelled. So finally I am writing this q value. So this q value is nothing but q by 2 into, here one q square is there and q is there, q by 2 into root 2 plus 1 by 2. And so therefore finally we can write this as the charge to be placed at that point is. So again you should remember that this is not the final answer. This is only the magnitude of that charge. Our final answer means we should write that value with the negative sign. So charge to be placed. So charge to be placed with q is equal to minus, you can take LCM, minus q by 4 into, I can write this as 2 root 2 plus 1. So this will be the charge to be placed at the center of the sphere, so that the entire system is in equilibrium. So equilibrium problems we need to solve like this. Just we should find the equilibrium of that charge by finding the net force due to the remaining all charges and the force due to this newly placed charge and that are unknown charge. That force we should balance, then you will get that unknown charge. And there will be some theoretical questions also basing on this. So let us see those theoretical questions. Like if I consider our first problem, like two charges are placed there, and then we are placing a third charge here so that the system is in equilibrium. We calculated that value, so this value is nothing but minus q by 4. So then that is our first problem in the equilibrium problems. So that is the calculations there. We already did that problem. Now the question is whether this charge is in stable equilibrium or unstable equilibrium. They will ask like that. Or in addition to this numerical value, they will also mention that value, that minus q by 4 the system is in stable equilibrium, or minus q by 4 the system is in unstable equilibrium. So we need to answer that. And for that, so let us cancel our previous discussion. When the body is said to be stable and when it is said to be neutral or when it is said to be unstable equilibrium. So stable equilibrium means if you displace the particle slightly from the equilibrium position, it should come back towards that position. Then it is said to be stable. If it is moving away from that position, then it is unstable. If it has no tendency either to move back or to move forward, then it is said to be neutral equilibrium. And so now, for example, here I am asking about this. Let us say this is an x-axis and xy coordinate system I am taking here. Let us answer about when the particle is displaced along the x-axis. When the particle is displaced along the x-axis, suppose say this particle is displaced slightly to this position here by a distance x. We are displacing along this direction. So I will represent here. So initially the particle is here, now we are displaced into this position here. This is A and this is B, and now this is the point C, which is our Q, which is nothing but Q by 4. And so now as it is a negative charge, the force between A and C direction will be along this direction. Let it be F1. And force between B and C will be, again that is an attractive force, that will be F2. Initially when this charge is here in this position, then F1 and F2 magnitudes are same. So that this charge will be in equilibrium at this point. But when you are displacing slightly along this direction, you can observe that this distance is decreasing. Our Coulomb's law is force between two charges is inversely proportional to the distance. When the distance between these two charges is decreasing, the force value will increase. So force value will increase means therefore I can conclude this F2 value is greater than F1. So F2 value is greater than F1 means the net force acting on this object will be along this direction. That means in the direction of F2. That means when the particle is displaced along the x-axis from the equilibrium position, then the particle will move away from the position. That means in the direction of displacement. That means it is nothing but we are displacing towards right, then particle will move in the direction of right only. That means along x-axis only. And so that along x-axis it is in unstable. Unstable equilibrium. Is it clear? We are displacing the particle slightly to the right and we are verifying the net force direction. Net force is in which direction? So if it is then here the net force we are getting towards right, that means the particle will move away from the equilibrium position, so that we are saying it is unstable equilibrium. Now for the same configuration, I am displacing the particle, for example, along y-axis. Suppose now the particle is here, the third particle is C, this is A, B, and so that the system is in equilibrium now. We are displacing the particle slightly along this direction. Suppose the particle is displaced to here, and you know this is the charge to be placed is a negative charge here, so that this minus Q is here. We are displacing along this direction now. Now let us identify this net force direction. If you identify the net force direction, the force due to this A on C will be along this direction. Let it be F1. And the force due to this B on C, that will be along this direction, F2. And by the symmetry you can say that these angles will be same. Because we already calculated this position will be D by 2 and this is also D by 2. And so that these angles are same we can write. And so that net force in horizontal direction along x-axis will be cancelled, and so the resultant force will be along the negative y-axis. F net is along negative y-axis. That means the net force will be along in downward direction there. That means if you displace the particle like this, in this situation, the particle is experiencing a net force in this downward direction. And so that means the particle will again comes back towards the equilibrium position. So when the particle is coming back towards the equilibrium position, then it is said to be, when you are displacing the particle away from the equilibrium position, it is coming back towards equilibrium position. Then that particle is or the system is said to be in stable equilibrium position. So that means for the displacement along y-axis, it is in stable equilibrium. This is for the small displacement only. Or if you are displacing it large by a larger distance, you know the total configuration of the system will changes. And so for the small displacement along y-axis, if you are displacing it along the y-axis, then system will be in equilibrium. So you need to answer whether the system is in equilibrium or that means in stable equilibrium or in unstable equilibrium by this. Just you need to consider the body, the particle is displaced slightly according to the given direction. If they are asking along x-axis, then we need to answer about the x-axis. If they are asking along y-axis, then we need to answer about this y-axis. Then basing on that, you can answer that whether it is an unstable equilibrium or in stable equilibrium like this. So those are some of the examples for the problems based on this equilibrium. Basing on this equilibrium, you can solve the problems like this. And next we need to discuss some other applications or the other models for the problems based on the Coulomb's law. Like there will be some problems related to the mechanics like frictional force. That means combination of Coulomb's law and frictional force problems will be there, or combination of Coulomb's law and work energy theorem problems will be there. And next continuous charge distribution problems will be there. And so those we will discuss later. And so now today you have to complete the problems based on the Coulomb's law up to the completed concepts. Like the pendulum problems we completed, and the simple direct applications of Coulomb's law you can solve by substituting Q1 and Q2 problems. And the next dielectric medium problems you can solve, and the next is equilibrium problems you can solve. So then you can complete those problems today.